Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nakakawa Ruth. Welcome for the session for entrepreneurship practice. Yes, we've been late a little because you were doing your teaching practice, but we bless God that you've come back. I thank your coordinator. He has been handy, very, very much coordinated indeed. Mataglia, thank you so very much. I welcome you on board for this yet another exciting session that is entrepreneurship practice. Yes, let us go through what are the course objectives of this course unit. What is expected of you at the end of covering this course unit? Yes, I will believe that at the end of this course unit, you'll be able to practically start your own business. What does that mean? It's quite interesting. Someone will say, I do not have capital. You have the capital. You are the capital. For as long as you're okay, for as long as you're healthy, you can start your own business. That is number one. And that is what entrepreneurship practice is all about. Practice means putting something into, existence. Number two, at the end of the course unit, we are able to explore various ways of business entry. How can you join a given business? There are quite a number of methods that people can use to join businesses. Three, we are able to write a business plan. Three, for the students to be able to be creative and innovative. Will be able to manage finances if establish a business, and also students will be able to manage risks in the startup businesses. Yes, in this regard, we're going to do lots of discussions online. We're going to make presentations. We're going to do brainstorming, and there might be a little bit of field study on your own. In as much as we do not have a lot of time, we'll withdraw from your personal experiences in this course unit. What are some of the things that are going to be covered during entrepreneurship practice? Number one, we're going to appreciate who the intrapreneurs are, and that is entrepreneurship development, define the nature of entrepreneurship, characteristics of intrapreneurs and their classifications, the process of developing new corporate ventures, and then characteristics that encourage entrepreneurship. That is going to be our first area of coverage. Number two, we're going to write a business plan, and what are the uses of a business plan, what makes a business plan attractive. We're going to look at what are some of the things that can make a business plan workable, and then write one if we have the time. Three, we're going to look at a business model. What is a business model? What components do we find in a business model canvas, how to create one, and then the benefits of the business canvas. Number four, we're going to look at financing the new venture. That is one of the areas that really disturb people. When they think about business, they think about capital, yet that is not very important. Fine. We're going to look at the major sources of funding. We're going to look at the specific sources of funding. We're going to look at things to avoid while looking for business capital, and then the challenges that we face by attaining some kind of capital. Then we're going to look at ways of starting a business. We're going to look at creativity and innovation. And then we might look at risk management if the time allows us, and then we'll move on, as you might see. Fine. What is entrepreneurship practice? If someone comes to you and asks you what is entrepreneurship practice, what will you tell them? Anyhow, in this course unit, we believe that entrepreneurship practice is an adventure or a personal journey and a significant learning experience that's for the students. This course unit gives you an opportunity to make creative adjustments to meet personal needs and increase your motivation. Most of us have things that we desire to do, but because we fear what people will say, we fear maybe we are not good enough in those areas, we have some fears, those demons that actually stop us from going for what we want as human beings, and that becomes a challenge when it comes to young entrepreneurs. The fear that comes with starting is one of the biggest challenges that stop people from actually coming up with new ideas or putting their ideas into practice. Anyhow, let us look at who the intrapreneurs are. These are employees who work within a business in an entrepreneurial capacity, creating innovative new products and processes for the organization. In other words, intrapreneurs are not the owners of the business. Most of the large enterprises like Coca-Cola, like MTN, the banks, name it, they have people who work in the business department, or I don't know how they call it, but those people who come up with the new ideas every now and then. You see banks coming up with promotional items, they come up with new products. You see MTN coming up with the likes of MomoPay. All of those ones are not created by the owners of MTN or these other companies. They are created by the people that we call the intrapreneurs. When you look at these intrapreneurs, we normally say that the difference is that the employee entrepreneur is not personally responsible for the commercial success of the innovation. The risks and rewards are limited unto the intrapreneurs. The intrapreneurs' practices have developed in response to the modern world's rapidly changing marketplace. Most of the companies call these people the intrapreneurs research and development department, because in there they are able to actually come up with new ideas, brainstorm, exchange ideas, ideate, and things of that nature. What are the features of these intrapreneurs? One, intrapreneurs are innovators who are not responsible for the market performance, meaning that if you come up with a creation as an intrapreneur, it doesn't matter whether it works or not. At the end of the day, you are just an employee of a company. So if it performs well, well and good. If it doesn't perform well, that is not your problem. Intrapreneurs still are innovators who are under-rewarded. If their innovation comes up so well, sometimes they are not recognized. It's like the people who write songs for the musicians. It's very difficult for these musicians sometimes to recognize them, even when their songs have become a major hit. So are the intrapreneurs in organizations. They're in the background. No one sometimes ever even meets them. Number three, intrapreneurs are corporate heroes. They are courageous people who make things happen, creating new commercial success in spite of stodgy corporate policies and glacial pace of bureaucratic decision making. These people are so determined in such a way that even when someone doesn't believe in their works, for them they believe in what they've come up with, and they end up being a big success. To add on the above, entrepreneurs are also seen as descriptive mavericks, prone to shatter the status quo and replace what is with what might be. Most of the times their ideas are not actually yet confirmed to be real or not real. But for them as intrapreneurs, they believe in their ideas and they end up selling their ideas to others, which is not something simple. More to that, most entrepreneurs appear not to be motivated by money. They don't come up with new ideas simply because they're going to be rewarded. They are just driven by, coming up with things which are new and changing the status quo. When we look at these intrapreneurs, like we've looked at them from the word go, we go ahead and classify them into different categories. And among these we have the administrative intrapreneurs, and these ones are associated with the traditional research and development activity. Here, management recruits individual researchers and sets up teams to expressly champion innovations and new inventions that can be commercialized. I think that is the most common type of intrapreneurs, the research and development, more especially for large corporations. Two, we have the opportunistic intrapreneurs. In some companies, some individual managers are allowed a semi-autonomous status and hence deployed to pursue new business opportunities for their companies. Such managers are free to operate their own budget and do not report through the normal organizational hierarchy. Now, these ones are very common with organizations which are large and have different departments, and each department must have a manager. For example, when you look at companies which have grown in Uganda, like the likes of the telecom industry, you realize that each department, like mobile money, has a manager, voice could be having a manager, data could be having. So all of those departments cannot be run under one management. Each of them has a manager, and that manager is given that kind of autonomy where they can come up with products that are likely to better their departments. So those are opportunistic entrepreneurs. Number 3, we have acquisitive entrepreneurs. Here, the company sets up a team of managers who go out there in search of external opportunities. These usually negotiate with new startup businesses and take them over. The aim, therefore, is to argument the particular company's growth strategy, and the terms that represent different forms of acquisition include the mergers, the joint ventures, the takeovers, the horizontal integrations, among others. Now, when we come to these ones, we look at still the telecom industry in Uganda. It has remained with a few major players, but these major players have taken over many upcoming companies, and you see the likes of Orange and Orient are not existing in Uganda anymore. I don't know if it was a merger or an acquisition or whatever, but those are kinds of acquisitive entrepreneurs. And then we have the imitative entrepreneurs, which we call the initiative. This type of entrepreneurship is achieved through imitation, copy. Here, the firm gathers information and ideas about products and other firms and produces close versions of the same product that compete and sometimes even outcompetes the original producer. And then we have the incubative entrepreneurs. Using this approach, the company forms a new venture development unit, that is a company within a company, which is accorded autonomy, seed capital, and access to other corporate resources. Full stop. There are quite a number of organizational characteristics that encourage entrepreneurship. We believe that companies that establish a culture of innovation through, number 1, formation of entrepreneurial teams and task forces, 2, recruitment of new staff with new ideas, application of strategic plans that focus on achieving innovations, and also establishment of internal research and development programs that are likely to see tangible results. There are also other key things that can instill entrepreneurial environment in organizations. For example, if there is support from top management, if you ensure that communication systems are open, proper allocation of resources, reward entrepreneurs, among others, all of those ones can actually foster entrepreneurship in organizations, among others. And as far as the introduction is concerned, I hope and pray that helps you to understand what entrepreneurship is all about as we move forward. Good afternoon.